July of the 88-89 school year. Bob Jones at that time, the old Bob Jones, as I say now, was going through some renovation projects on the inside in which they were putting up some walls where it had been an open classroom concept before. And so my office at that time was in a trailer right in front of the school. And I remember it was one hot July afternoon, and it wasn't long before I was fixing to be finished for the day and going on home, and there was a knock on the trailer door, and I was there by myself. And so I said, "Come in," and this gentleman came in and introduced himself to me, and he asked me, did I have a teaching job open for the next school year at Bob Jones? And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." He says, "Well, Mr. Broadway, if you don't mind, my son-in-law would make you a great teacher." And he looked me straight in the eye, and I could tell the conviction. He was really serious that, you know, his son-in-law would make a great teacher. I said, "Well, I would certainly like to talk to him." He said, "Well, I've got him right outside. Do you mind if I send him in?" I said, "You go right ahead." And so within about a minute, here come this young man, dressed very nice, came on in the trailer. And of course, there was only one other seat other than mine. I asked him to sit down. And the thing that impressed me about Mr. Parker the most was from the minute we started talking, you could see the conviction that he had for young people, the love that he had for education to teach young people. And he would just look you straight in the eye, and he convinced me within 3 minutes he was the perfect person for that job. And I told him as he was getting it, we talked for about 30 minutes, and I went through his background and all that, and he's just such a solid person. He reminded me real quick, he's the type of person, teacher, that I would want my son or daughter to be in their classrooms. And of course, over the years, I followed Mr. Parker. He worked with me for the whole time I was here at Bob Jones, just about. And then I followed his career after I became superintendent, and then I went to Hoover, Alabama. His deep love for kids has never changed. He's interested in one thing every day, and that's making sure that every child under his direction is going to get the highest quality education they can possibly get. And that's what we send our kids to school for every day, is to make sure when they graduate from Bob Jones or any high school in this country that they're going to be qualified to get a good college education or to go out in the world of work and be productive right from the get-go. And Mr. Parker demonstrated that to me. That's what he would require every day in his classroom or every day under his supervision, that these kids, especially in the city of Madison, and we all know how important a great education is in the city of Madison, how important that education is for their futures. And Mr. Parker always produced when it came to that. There's some great people that I've hired over the years, and Robbie Parker is certainly one of the top people that I've ever hired, if not the best person. And you know, I'm just so excited that the City of Madison Board of Education has chosen Robbie to be their next superintendent, because they can't go wrong with him, I can assure you. He's a wonderful individual and a wonderful educator.